Mm. You know, this isn't even the high of the session. We're just off the highs of the session. Take a look at shares of AMC. Forget the mouse that roared. It's the Jurassic World dinosaurs and the AMC apes, those retail investors who are roaring at this hour, punching the stock higher by nearly 20%, forcing an epic turnaround in the stock from just this morning. Shares of the world's largest movie theater chain badly stumbled, actually, this morning at the open, hitting session lows of $16.50, but right now stand at $22.36. This intraday picture really tells the story. But earnings are just part of the story. AMC did report a wider than expected loss of 24 cents per share in the second quarter, but that was way narrower than the $344 billion loss a year ago. And then revenue. Sales saw a 142% jump year over year to $1.17 billion. Props to Tom Cruise and T-Rex, who gave the theater chain a boost as moviegoers raced to see the blockbusters Top Gun Maverick and Jurassic World Dominion on the silver screen, ramping up AMC's attendance by 168% year over year to 59 million globally in Q2. But the big announcement came when AMC said it will issue preferred stock with a 1-cent dividend, ticker symbol APE, to repay investors and Reddit rebels who shoved the stock into the meme spotlight and kept the theater giant afloat during the pandemic. To the man granting this gift offering, AMC Entertainment CEO Adam Aron. Adam, listen, it's easy to interpret the ticker symbol APE as a nod to your retail investors, but it also stands for AMC Preferred Equity. Why do you think there was such a delay in investors embracing this listing when it was down about 9% this morning and now up 20%?
Well, thank you for the introduction, Liz. And yes, yesterday we did post terrific earnings for this company. But as you say, the big story, the big news is the creation of a whole new class of securities, preferred equity units, preferred stock. It will trade on the New York Stock Exchange under its own symbol. And sort of like a 2-for-1 stock split, except that instead of getting 2 common shares for 1 old common share, you're getting 1 new APE, as we call it, of the preferred equity unit, and 1 common share. But it was a complicated transaction. I'm not surprised it's taken the market a little time to figure it out. We do think that the creation of this preferred stock is extraordinarily important for AMC. And the reason is that when you look back, we survived this pandemic because we were able to raise over $2 billion of equity. But we literally ran out of shares. We had none left. And now with this new currency, this new preferred stock, we have an enormous amount of shares that we could use to strengthen this company, to build shareholder value. We can raise equity, we can pay down debt, we can use it for M&A, and it makes AMC a fundamentally stronger company to have this tool at our disposal.
Well, it feels like you almost refilled the rainy day coffers so that you are able, if needed, to be able to go and issue some of this. You'll be issuing, I would imagine, a very small slice of it if people want to buy it. But what kind of response do you think you will get when you issue? Is it April 10th? When will people be able to buy these preferreds?
The preferred will trade on the New York Stock Exchange on August 22, just a couple of weeks from now. And you and I have already talked that we can use this new currency to strengthen the company, but that doesn't mean that we will. We will always be prudent. We'll always be judicious in how we treat our shares. They're precious things. But as I said, the fact that we can do it if we want to do it, that in itself is powerful. You know, there are a lot of people out there who think that AMC not necessarily will survive this whole pandemic that we're still in the midst of. We're well on our glide path out of it, but we're not out of it all the way yet. When you can raise equity at will, that pretty much takes near-term survival risk. It takes it completely off the table. That by itself makes AMC a much stronger company. And I think you're seeing that reflected in the trading in our stock today.
You know, you guys, in the end, stick to your at least knitting when it comes to theaters. You've opened your theaters. I mean, I remember a year ago, we would sit and talk and say, well, when? And it was like water torture, drip by drip. Oh, we can open some, we can't open all of them. And now it must be so freeing, but you got to fill them with great movies. What will be the replacement to the Jurassic World and Maverick for this current quarter?
Well, actually, we're still living the joy of the second quarter. It was a big one and an important one for us because it reminded people that when Hollywood releases good movies, people are going to come out to theaters in droves to see them. And July, actually, which is the start of the third quarter, it was our most heavily attended month at the company in the United States at all of our U.S. theaters in the last two and a half years. But as we look ahead, by the way, August and September, it might be a little slow. But, oh, my goodness, when you see the movies that are coming out October, November, and December, it's one hit after another. All I need to tell you is the sequel to Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, is coming out. The Avatar was the most popular movie of all time. The sequel to Avatar, Avatar 2, The Way of Water, opens at Christmas. I've seen footage of Avatar 2. It's just magnificent. I can't even begin to describe the creativity of the world that James Cameron and John Landau are creating in that movie. Well, and that's just two movies of like a dozen big ones in the fourth quarter. And as we look ahead, it's not only the fourth quarter that's going to be strong this year, but our internal forecast for 2023 is that the box office, this is the whole size of the industry now, is going to be billions of dollars ahead of the 22 box
Adam,
office.
to that point,
there are a lot of big movies coming.
This is really interesting to me because theatrical releases were sort of the redheaded stepchild as streaming got so big. Now you see what Warner Brothers Discovery just did. They threw Batgirl, already shot, which was supposed to go to streaming, into the circular file. I mean, they cannot release that because they are going to take the tax loss. What does this augur for live silver screen theatrical movies that are coming out and people are going to at least put more oomph into it, perhaps?
Well, let's all take ourselves back in time. A year and a half ago, all of us were imprisoned in our homes and our apartments for like a year. We couldn't see people. We couldn't go out. And, the conventional wisdom back in 2018, way before the pandemic, which I always thought was ridiculous, was that theaters were an anachronism and people were going to stay home and watch movies on their sofa, watch on their small TV or their small tablet or even smaller telephone. And we said, no, they want to get out of their house. They want to get out of their apartments. And that's what we've all learned really since Spider-Man No Way Home was released in December, then the Batman in March, Doctor Strange in May, Top Gun, Jurassic World. People want to get out. They want to go to a theater. Going to a movie theater has been at the center of the cultural fabric of the United States for more than a century. Yeah. We're as relevant today as we've ever been. And I do believe that when studios started counting the dollars that showed up in May and June, they agreed with us. The future of theatrical exhibition is very bright.
Yeah, well, Warner Brothers certainly is making that clear. Warner Brothers shares, though, by the way, down 16% right now. AMC having a much better day. Looks like we're up about 18%. Great to see you, Adam. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Liz. Nice to be with you on a sunny summer afternoon.
Yeah, depends on where you are. Kansas. We're in New York. There have been a few clouds here, but we'll take it. Thanks, Adam, very much. Adam Aron.